The next thing that I wanted to discuss on is basically how you can leverage your Revit with Dynamo, right? So, I mean, you might be asking, why do I want to be coordinating with Revit? Okay, I mean, shouldn't I just rely on Naviswork for this? Okay, I mean, truth be told, yes. Okay, for the the more for a very complex situations that involve a lot of levels and whatnot. Okay, you might want to just just leave it on your Naviswork to do that. Okay, but you need to understand that, okay, finding those issues, okay, means nothing if you can't access the information so that you can so that you can change the original information. That if you're working with Naviswork, that information will actually comes from Revit. All right, so we are going to actually look into how you can actually work with Revit and Dynamo. All right. If you have not worked with Dynamo before, all right, I mean, you've searched something and this is probably you would see. Dynamo is a tool that can stand on its own, okay, because there is this application called Dynamo Studio, all right. But okay, in the context that we are in right now, Dynamo is a tool that you use on top of Revit, all right. So I mean, it is a totally different application, all right. So I mean, it does not require Revit to be on to run, okay, basically, if you use Dynamo Studio. But in our context, the informations where it would extract from where actually comes from Revit. All right. So I mean, what is this Dynamo thingy, right? So I mean, in a nutshell, Dynamo is a visual programming tool, all right, because we are in construction, we are not programmers. I am not a programmer. I mean, I don't know my C++ compared to Visual Basics and Python and whatnot, all right? But what I wanted to do is I wanted to automate, okay? What I want my team to do is to be able to automate certain things, right? So what you can do with Dynamo is that it would allow faster automation of tasks, okay? And it can be used as an alternative means to access data and manipulate BIM data within Revit. Okay, and if you if you an architect, okay, you might also wanted to do some form findings. Okay, this also can be executed with Revit, okay, through the ability to create NURB surfaces and NURB solid models, right? In Revit, okay, you can get Dynamo, and then you can actually also get Dynamo Player, right? So the question is that, I mean, should you use Dynamo? All right. So the answer is, if you are an architect designing complex design, structural engineer, extracting and reusing architectural Revit data, if you're a BIM modeler creating detailed models, right? I mean, you might want to look into Dynamo, right? And then the other one is that, I mean, if you use Revit long enough, you understand how things work in Revit, and you think that, okay, you wanted to automate certain tasks, hey, Dynamo is for you as well, right? The other thing that you can get nowadays, okay, is installed together with Revit. Okay, you get the Dynamo Studio. You also, sorry, not Dynamo Studio. You get the Dynamo, and then you also get the Dynamo Player. All right. So Dynamo Player are basically there, okay, for those that wanted to use Dynamo, but they don't really care about what goes on in Dynamo. All right. Dynamo Player is basically just a player button. I mean, like if you wanted to watch a video, right? I mean, you don't bother about, how to create that video. You just want to consume, right? So this is for the part in your organizations that is going to consume the information rather than, create, okay, this, slightly more complicated, graph with Dynamo, right? So, Dynamo is quite a simple, actually have quite a simple user interface, all right? So I'll go through this when I show you the application. And then one thing is that it runs separately out of from Revit. Okay. One thing that Dynamo have is basically I have this a set of informations that set of tools, okay, set of nodes that you would want to use, okay. And from our experience, okay, don't bother to remember those nodes, right? Because it's just too many of it, okay, and then you can get confused, right? And the graph would actually look like this, right? For this example is basically a point attractor example where if you move certain elements nearer, and then you will react to the shape of the solid elements, all right, and whatnot, okay? And then basically the one that drive Dynamo in order for you to create the graph is basically the Dynamo nodes, right? So in these nodes, okay, you have the input, and then you have the output. Okay, you have the wires that actually goes to the input, and then from the output port, okay, you can also, I mean, link it to another node, okay, with another wire. And then there is also this node watch to see what's happening, okay, with the nodes that you are dealing with.